A very good evening to you and welcome back to Naivasha. We are back for the final media zone of Saturday and the events that have unfolded in front of our eyes today. We will recap for you in the next half an hour or so. Myself and old fly swatter over here.
Your flies?
By the way, just to let you know that Mike Chen actually attracts mosquitoes like bees to honey. He is
the Kenyan mosquitoes are a lot faster than the European mosquitoes either. When you try to whip them with a towel, they're gone. They're like Kenyan athletes, quicker.
It's a whole thing that we will not bore you with. However, we will bring you all of the interviews. Like I said, it is PK that's over the other side, Paul King getting all of the interviews in. I believe he's spoken to a few already, so we'll be bringing you those and just giving you a full recap of the whole day, which is almost impossible to do in half an hour. But what an absolutely incredible day. And also, I've never seen a grown man so excited about rain before.
Oh, look, it was just, I love this sport, and to commentate on that today, I was just like an excited kid. It was so good. You talked about the rain. I didn't think we were going to get rain like that,
well, not on that scale, because when Julian said 9 drops of rain, I was thinking, okay, we might see like, you know, a little bit, a microclimate of it, and then we're done. No.
It was class. It was brilliant. It was proper Rally Kenya, and I just loved every single second of it. And boy, oh boy, have we had some stories from this afternoon. It's turned the entire rally on its head.
Yeah, I mean, still the one steadfast is that Elfyn Evans has managed to, as long as he brings it back here, still lead our rally and be king of Kenya for now. However, he's still not gone unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, look, Elfyn has had, I think, obviously, when you just look at the problems that other people have had throughout the weekend, Elfyn, he has had a couple of DBs.
It's not a bad story, is it?
He hasn't had any reliability issues. He hasn't had any major tyre delaminations. Everybody else has had a major problem like that, and Elfyn, he hasn't done, and the result is he's leading. And that's the trick. We've been saying it all weekend. Stay out of trouble. Yeah. But also, his pace has been there, hasn't it? So Elfyn has been doing a superb job and lost a little bit of time in that final stage. We'll maybe hear a little bit more about that later on, but yeah, for sure, Elfyn Evans has, as you said, so far been the king of Kenya, but there's still 66Ks to go tomorrow.
No, that's the thing, because sometimes we have shorter Sundays. Yes, it is shorter than what we are seeing throughout a full day. However, it is not a short Sunday. And we've got 2 runs of Hell's Gate, which is just an absolutely epic stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hell's Gate is horrific. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's called Hell's Gate for a reason, and it's designed to break rally cars, and that's what it will be trying to do tomorrow. So, yeah, look, let's see what happens. As you said, there's still a long, long way to go. Anything can happen, and we've seen it happen this afternoon, and I'm buzzing to talk about all of it for the next half an hour.
Yeah, all right. Well, that Hell's Gate will turn into the Wolf Power Stage as the last and final day of Safari Rally Kenya. The story is only just halfway through there, and it is Juha Kankkunen that's the first of our interviews with PK. So let's listen in to how he feels his boys have done so far.
Juha, still got Evans out there in the lead. It's been incredibly tough conditions, though, hasn't it, out there today?
Yeah, it has been an incredible day. So many changes, you know, and punctures and things, and now first time when the safari has been short, I remember that the weather has been changing so much as well.
I mean, you've obviously seen this sort of thing over the years. When we get this, especially this time of year, it's a bit of a rainy season. It comes in so quickly, but is that as bad as you've seen it over the years when those mud holes get that big?
Yes, they do. Yes, I have been. Nobody got stuck today, but I have been even digging myself in the mud many times. So I have seen it worse, but I have been here so many times. But it was for sure one of the worst conditions you can find.
Really tough one, though, for Kalle out there, wasn't it, this afternoon? But he did a kind of, I guess, a really great job in the end of managing that situation and bringing the car home in the end, didn't he?
Exactly, yes. He broke rear left piston fitting bolt, but they managed to fix, and he was driving unbelievably well, you know, slowly, carefully, lost time, but managed to bring the car here, which one was very well done.
Wanted to ask you as well about your young compatriot, Sami Pajari, obviously coming here for the first time. How impressed have you been with the way that Sami's managed the situation on the first attempt here in a Rally 1 Cup?
Yeah, he has been driving well. I mean, no major mistakes, nothing, couple of punctures or things, but that's normal. And I think he has done a good job because, you know, the weather has been really difficult for the first timer to be here.
And then for Elfyn tomorrow, he's got that huge lead, but it's Kenya, isn't it? You can never sort of assume it's done until it's done, isn't it?
That's right, you're 100% right. I mean, the rally is not over before you come to the finish ramp. I mean, I have been seen to Kenya so many times that still there could be some things happening.
Thanks very much. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you, Juha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, a very good point there, PK. The rally is not over until it's done. Juha just talking about Sami, actually, and as we have got our eyes with Sami, we'll just talk about it again. You know, such a difficult rally. It's not been a bad run for him. It might not be exactly what he's hoping for, but just not a bad run.
Yeah, you've nailed it there, Kiri. He's just kept himself entirely out of trouble, hasn't he? And he's learned a lot. That's what he's been here to do. He's not been here to win the rally. He's not been here to go and win stages even. It's to get an experience of Rally Kenya in one of these cars so that next year when we arrive, he's got a good set of notes that he can work with and increase the speed. And ultimately, you can't do any of that if the car's upside down by the side of the road. So, you know, he's doing everything he wanted to do. And yesterday we saw, I said it in commentary, yesterday we saw some really good pace from Sami Pajari, didn't we? When he wants to turn the wick up a little bit, he can do. So I think Sami's just driven conservatively, he's driven intelligently, and he's let his teammates get on with the fight at the front. Sami's got on with learning. That's what he's supposed to be doing. It's been a good job from him.
But also it would be unwise, given the first 2 rounds they've had with things not going exactly how he wanted, to then have an instant here. You want to at least bring a car home for one of the rounds, and Kenya is a perfect place to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're quite right. It's about confidence as well, isn't it? It's about psychologically being in a good place. And if you're not getting good results, we're just looking at Aaron Johnson there.
He's actually doing a mighty fine job of getting that clean.
Yeah, obviously Taka picked up that puncture, didn't he? That puncture. That
it's all right,
and they've had lots of practice at changing wheels over the weekend, haven't they? I think Taka's probably top of the leaderboard so far as picking up D-beads and punctures go, but that's why Aaron was cleaning himself off. But yeah, coming back to Sami, I think as you said, psychologically it's about having a good result and psychologically being in a good place.
Yeah. And let's see what Sunday holds for him. Some Super Sunday points might be on the card. Okay, well, I spoke to Cyril Abiteboul at the midday point. Has the plan worked out? Let's find out.
Cyril, a typical safari day out there, but after it's all shaken out, I mean, second and third, is that as good as you could have hoped for, considering the problems everyone's had over the last couple of days?
Well, difficult to say. If you look at where we were yesterday, midday, we were clearly very, very strong with our car, and we were very satisfied with our pace. So at that point in time, we were thinking that maybe actually for this time it could go our way, but actually fairly quickly in the afternoon, again, that second loop, we started to have some issues, which clearly was very frustrating, given efforts that have been put into trying to improve the reliability of the car. We are clearly not on top of a number of things in that area, in the area of the transmission. And yeah, from there, in particular, this morning, having sort of probably moved away from a more extreme setup, more performance-based setup, and also instructing drivers to take it a bit more carefully. Clearly, Toyota was clearly dominant in today's loop, but obviously this was without taking into account what was going to be thrown at us in the afternoon, and the race was almost just a detail in comparison to this afternoon. So difficult to say if this is where the best we could hope for, if this is deserved. It is what it is, and there is still some room for change tomorrow.
As you say, obviously really frustrating for Tanak to use that lead in the way he did yesterday. But I mean, it's been a difficult rally for Hyundai over the years. Have you seen, steps forward in reliability-wise in general terms, if you take that out of consideration? The
difficulty is a bit of a moving target. You solve something, and then the next problem is going somewhere else. It's all about fuse. It's which fuse is going to be triggered in first. Last year we knew it was our prop shaft issue and gearbox casing with EPs, to remember those times. This year sort of moved to the drive shaft, but with Spain it's difficult. Anyway, we don't have enough jokers to change the whole cinematic of the car. That was our plan, but that plan was canned for regulatory reason. So it is what it is. Is it satisfying? No, it's not, because frankly it's already we would like to do well. Probably in hindsight we could have managed a bit differently yesterday, but in hindsight it's a beautiful thing.
Difficult couple of events, hasn't it been, for Adrien? I mean, obviously showing flashes of great pace, again, coming back out to do the job on Sunday. But have you seen enough there that that obviously the podium in Monte Carlo, that there's more to come from Adrien?
I think we are coming out from 3 very different rally, very specific specific conditions. I think those are the conditions where probably it's the most tricky for our car, for our competitive car, sort of changing grip It's something that Ott has been complaining a lot about. So that's, I think we are yet to see really the potential of our car in more straightforward conditions. Having said that, I think, yeah, indeed, I think Adrien needs also to learn a bit of, become a bit more realistic about certain circumstances in Sweden when he basically lost some time due to his helmet situation and probably weren't willing to recover a bit too quickly from that. Same thing here on tyre, being probably a bit too optimistic in thinking that it could go to the end of the stage. Frankly, it's okay. I think it's okay. We need to move on from that and now put together, dust ourselves off, make sure that we, be patient, keep our head down, stay calm, stay focused. I think he has what it takes to be a great driver and to help us fulfill our mission for this year.
Perfect. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Joss.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways from that, and it is interesting what he's saying. So first of all, he's saying, the question about the reliability of the car, but it is a moving target, as he was saying. One thing's better than the next thing's worse. It's almost impossible to also assess what Safari Rally Kenya is going to throw at you this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've had a couple of drive shaft issues, haven't they? That's what he's been referring to. And then, but the issues that they came with last year, gearbox casing, they fixed that. They used a joker, they've sorted that. The prop shaft, they've sorted that. Not had prop shaft failures, so that's a good thing. I think as well that what Cyril is talking about there is yesterday the pace was phenomenal in dry conditions. Today's been wet and the setup hasn't been there, has it? They've struggled in the wet. So I think they've struggled Hyundai have struggled to find a sweet spot in the wet conditions, and more so, I think if they had the opportunity again, they'd have told the lads to back off through that Camp Moran stage. I think Ott and Thierry maybe went a little bit too hard and asked a bit too much of the car, particularly on the second run through. We were saying it in commentary. I mean, the two of them just blew everybody away, but these cars have a limit, and if you overstep that mark, you start, like I said, you get cracks in things, and that stage is designed to find failures in the car. And I think that's what Cyril was saying there, Kiri, as well, a little bit.
I think so, yeah, and that's what he talked about earlier as well, that they'd sort of come to this decision to perhaps take it a little bit easier, just take it down a couple of percent. But it will be interesting to see what they do on Super Sunday, but also things have started to play into their hands. As Kalle Rovanper has had his problem, their tactic has sort of worked.
Absolutely, you're right, and while Cyril was kind of talking about hindsight and talking about how it's been difficult for them, and in ways it has been, they're still second and third, Kiri, and they have capitalised on the problems of others, and that's so often what you do in Kenya. And look, he's frustrated about the pace today. That's clear to see, but ultimately the cars are at the end of the day in second and third place, and you quite rightly point out Adrian Fourmeau is back tomorrow in a fresher car that hasn't done today's mileage. Super Sunday has to be on, and if it's dry, they'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting day ahead and plenty of kilometres to tackle. All right, well, it is Ott T&auml that we are going to listen into with an interview with PK there. Just we've got a lot of waterproofing on, actually, at the moment, because we thought it was going to rain, because we did all see that rain on the stages. But it hasn't come, thank goodness. But let's listen into that interview with Ott T&auml.
Ott, end of Saturday up there in second place, despite all the problems. I mean, considering what you've gone through, is this as good as you could have hoped, considering that time you dropped yesterday?
Let's say in Safari, I think it's better not to hope for anything. You never know what's going to happen. For sure, there is something going to happen, and yeah, it's been lots of action. Obviously, this afternoon, proper wet and some very tricky conditions. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some trouble with the screen again, and yeah, lots of water in the car. So yeah, was demanding loop, to be honest.
You talked yesterday about taking it stage by stage. As you say, you never know what's coming around the corner. Where does it get to the point when, in terms of the kilometres left and the amount of time you've dropped, where you think, I've kind of got to settle for what I've got? I guess it must come at some point on the Saturday.
There is, at the moment, seeing the conditions coming from each stage, you never know what you're going to find in the stage. So there is really nothing to settle. There is always some next challenge which you need to fight and get over with. So yeah, I think here is never so straightforward.
What can you tell us about those stages tomorrow? It's quite a chunky Sunday with 5 stages to come. What are they like out there up towards Hell's Gate?
Yeah, altogether should be quite a bit smoother. The first one we've done already on Thursday evening, and the other one is more or less like a stage in the zoo with lots of animals. And then the last one, obviously the power stage, which is more or less the road, but still very rough in places, and second loop for sure will be very demanding.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thierry, it's a classic safari, isn't it? Most of you guys turn up covered in mud. What's been going on out there?
It has been challenging, honestly. Already yesterday was a tough day, but today, yeah, it's hard to describe how tough it has been out there for several reasons. I mean, first of all, I wasn't feeling well at all. I had a very bad night, and I really struggled to keep the concentration and do my job. But we kept fighting, and we got rewarded. I mean, incredible conditions this afternoon. I've never seen that in my entire career, and to get through and get rewarded with a third place overnight, obviously, is great. So at least a little bit of motivation for tomorrow.
I mean, you always expect something to happen in Kenya, don't you? But I mean, the list is getting ever longer for you, isn't it, over the last 2 days?
I mean, the conditions were extreme. We've had some rough safaris, but this one is definitely the roughest we've had so far, and it's not over. So who knows what surprises we're going to have tomorrow.
Assuming you get a good night's sleep, you feel a bit better tomorrow. There is Super Sunday and Wolf Power Stage points to think about, but on a rally like this, does that sort of maybe get pushed aside on the Sunday?
Everything is important, but I don't know. I follow my feeling.
Good luck for tomorrow.
Thierry does look a little worse for wear. I'll say he does look particularly exhausted, as he has been saying. We did know that he was feeling unwell. Another one not feeling great, not a bad day, and I'm pretty sure not where he expected to be, given everything that had happened for him. So he sort of climbs back up. It's a podium position for now. I mean, it's about holding on.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's what he was saying, wasn't it? It's about hanging on tomorrow. As you can see, Ott T&auml
looking rather relaxed.
Yeah, he's taking it easy, looking pretty chilled, isn't he? And but yeah, you're right. Thierry Neuville has capitalised today on other people's problems around him, but that's rally, and you don't take that away from anyone. Points are points, positions are positions, and if other people are going to run into problems, then you take those opportunities. And we saw Toyota do it yesterday, and Hyundai have kind of done it today. It's been a real shame, I've got to say, for Takamoto, Katsuta, and Kalle Rovanper&auml, but that's the way the game goes.
Yeah, I mean, for Taka, it's really hard, isn't it? He's not been feeling well. He found pace that perhaps, we weren't expecting to see incredible pace. He's then in the running, and then it just, his bad luck came. But it has been coming one by one at the moment. There's not a driver out there that hasn't really suffered some of the Safari Kenya flair that it has to offer.
Yep, quite right. I was literally just chatting to Aaron Johnson down there, and I said, you'll be winning awards for being able to change tyres faster than anybody else, because they've had some serious practice, haven't they? Every day Aaron's been down on his knees, and Taka have been there changing tyres.
Kalle's been there as well. It's all right.
Kalle's been there as well, yeah. But it was a real shame, because Taka just clawed himself through sheer determination back into the fight today, and he was all but written off yesterday, but through pace. That's the impressive thing about Takamoto. Yeah. He did it through pace on the stages.
He was just picking
really
them off, wasn't he?
Absolutely, but he was on it, and unfortunately a couple of D-beats just stopped him in his tracks. That's a real shame. And Kalle Rovanper&auml with those issues, we'll hear from him. But Thierry Neuville and Ott T&auml capitalise on the situation. They go into tomorrow second and third, and Super Sunday, as you say.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because also Toyota are not going to want to sort of let off the throttle from that crown that they've been so happily holding on to. Now, actually, what we did just want to check in about was something that I believe you got a message about, which was this going on inside the car, in Thierry's car.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't actually see this onboard during the live, did we? But this is a common occurrence on a wet stage. When it gets wet outside, you get a condensation build-up on the inside of the windscreen. Unless you've got the heater on, and that will stop it from building up, and even then it doesn't always do. This is what the co-drivers and drivers employ, is a selfie stick, but without a phone on the end, taking a picture of yourself. It's a bit of sponge, and it works.
It is.
Look inside. Sorry, there. Look inside. You can actually see. Man at work, co-driver at work there, clearing the windscreen.
That's what we can make light of the situation, but it's utterly ridiculous to think that in the process of all of this, he's pace notes, he's doing all of the things that the co-driver should normally do, plus an additional task like that, under such high-pressure situations. It's actually baffling that humans can operate in this process.
Yeah, but you'd rather that than not be able to see, right? So, and we've seen so many times in the past drivers getting caught out, and it's the simplest of solutions. You know, so many times we've got, the windscreen's missed it up and we've seen them tiptoeing through.
Yeah.
It's the simplest of solutions, but boy, is it effective.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. What the day has provided us with. Okay, well, Greg Munster, he made it back as well. He survived. So let's listen into his interview with PK.
Well, Greg, really tough conditions out there, but one obvious positive place to start. Another stage win for you today in what was really tough conditions out there.
Yeah, exactly. It was really tricky today. Surely in the afternoon with so much rain. Basically, it was just aquaplaning. We needed a jet ski, I think, in Sleeping Warrior. It was just full aquaplaning in the two lines that were made in the Ricky. And even in third gear, we were driving like 10 kph and not going forward. It was easy to make a mistake, hitting a rock or a tree or something. So I'm glad we managed to get through. And I think, the conditions were getting better in the first one for the cars behind. But it was getting worse in the second stage, and we had an opportunity and we took it. So second stage win is really cool.
Fought your way back up to seventh now, and there's been flashes certainly yesterday morning, really good pace at times. Is there a little bit of a sense of what could have been as you look back now over the last 2 days?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we didn't have the problem, we would maybe be fighting for a top 5. But yeah, you can do anything you want. So it's not the case at the moment. I think now we have a big gap in front, so not much to do. It would be a bit silly, I think, to take too many risks tomorrow. So yeah, let's see what we can do and how the condition will be.
What have you been hearing about the conditions tomorrow? Obviously, that rain comes in so suddenly, didn't it, yesterday? But in general, the stage is a bit smoother, I think, aren't they, tomorrow?
Yeah, there is one stage that we've done already, the second one, Hell's Gate, which is quite sandy, and normally it's pretty dry. But there is this other one, Ozeregan or something, I don't remember. This one is like in the fields with very high grass. So if it's wet, it's going to be really slippery. You don't want to make a mistake because it's quite narrow.
If it's wet, maybe we can organise that jet ski for you. I mean, yeah, it just shows what they were dealing with. And actually, you know, just watching in from the outside, they're just sliding everywhere, weren't they?
Yeah, there's no grip at all. I mean, it's just you understeer followed by oversteer followed by no steer at all. You're just a passenger a lot of the time, particularly when you hit a big puddle at speed. And we saw Elfyn Evans have a full rotation, full 360, didn't we? You are just a passenger in it. I think actually that's Elfyn Evans arriving in.
I think that might be Kalle in first.
It is Kalle, you're right. But yeah, look, great to see Gregoire Munster take a stage win today, and it was actually a 1-2. Josh McAleen second fastest. So that was really nice to see, wasn't it? And yes, the weather conditions played into their hands as again a classic safari rally. Kenya at the very start of the stage, Gregoire Munster had the best of the conditions, didn't he? It then rained and everybody else got caught in that rain, so Gregoire was able to set the quickest time. But listen, a stage win's a stage win.
Yeah, I know, take it. And that's the thing, it doesn't matter where we're talking about how Hyundai have got themselves back into the second and third position. The podium positions, they're taking, advantage of a situation that yesterday the advantage was taken of them and their mistakes or their problems out there. So it swings in roundabouts, and a stage win will go down in the history books either way.
Yeah, exactly. And made all the more sweet with Josh McAleen finishing second.
Now Elfyn is here, and again Scotty Martin's bringing the car home, and Elfyn will be getting to his interviews in a second. So I think Elfyn's car will be coming up just behind. Now our next interview that is coming in as we're listening into them is Kalle Rovanper&auml.
Kalle, it wouldn't be Kenya without a few stories to tell, but sadly for you, it's not gone your way. Just talk us through that afternoon. I mean, it's amazing you actually made it here, first of all.
Yeah, it has not been an easy day, and afternoon was even worse. So yeah, on the second pass of Sleeping Warrior, we hit some loose stone on a muddy section. I saw some lines going through after one corner, so yeah, I went the same way, and there was some big loose stone, which then we hit with the front, and it moved just under the rear left tire and broke something on the suspension.
Talk us through the road section repairs, because obviously you guys are great mechanics, but you had to be quite imaginative, I understand, to make those repairs for the last couple of stages.
Yeah, it was not the easiest. On this car, we had never broken this part, so Yeah, it seemed that we didn't have so much options what to work with, but yeah, anyway, we always found between every stage something small to put there. It didn't last all the time, but at least we could start the stage, and yeah, we got here.
Is it a part that you could have had an option to carry in the car, but you never had it break before, or was that not an option?
Well, I don't think it's fully an option, but yeah, of course, I think on this kind of rally, maybe we could carry a bit more stuff to at least repair these kind of things. Of course, not the full part, but to make some quick repairs.
Obviously dropped a little bit down the order. What about the thoughts of Super Sunday and Wolf Power stage? The stage is a little bit smoother tomorrow. Is there a chance that you sort of make up some ground in terms of the points at least tomorrow?
Well, of course, that's the plan we need to try tomorrow. We definitely need some good points from tomorrow now.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's going to be very interesting. Interesting what he said about more parts in the car. We'll talk about that in a sec. But tomorrow there is a lot at stake for a lot of people. Kalle Rovanper&auml needs to get as much into the game as he can. It's a point situation now tomorrow. Super Sunday offering more points. There's additional points for Sunday as well as the Wolf Power stage. But it is a point situation. This is where the game really begins for the championship title. And if Elfyn can hold them off, he's starting to run away. Not completely run away, but it's a heck of a position to be in after round 3.
Oh, look, if Elfyn can hang on to win this rally and steal a few points on Super Sunday, that is a big deal for his championship campaign, isn't it? And
he's 28 points clear at the moment, getting the full hog tomorrow of the 35. I'm not sure whether he'll gamble it on the power stage, but you never know, do you?
Look, I don't think he should do personally. I just think if he can pick up the points for the win, then that's a hell of a result. There you go. You can see that's the championship as it stands.
Yeah.
Look at the gap there.
That's what we're looking at, so that's why Thierry is, got to be on point tomorrow. Ott T&auml is going to be battling hard. Kalle Rovanper&auml, that is not where he wants to be sitting.
There's nothing to choose between Thierry Neuville, Ott T&auml, Kalle Rovanper&auml, is there? Even Katsuta's right in the fight mix, there, between second and fifth. But Elfyn is nearly double the points to second back. He's 42 points clear of Thierry Neuville as things stand. So, look, let's see what he can do tomorrow. But in terms of the championship, the pressure is on Neuville, T&auml and Rovanper&auml to score on Sunday.
What an exciting season this is going to be. All right, we're running out of time. Let's listen to Elfyn Evans quickly.
Well, Elfyn, a 2-minute lead at the end of Saturday. I guess that's a kind of a relief, is it? Because you've had your own dramas, haven't you, this afternoon?
Yeah, a few dramas. Definitely been difficult out there. But yeah, what can we say? It's definitely been a proper safari so far. But 2 minutes in, this place isn't really a, normally you would say that would guarantee a win, but not really here.
When that rain came this afternoon and when everyone's slipping and sliding, does it feel, I guess you've got to remind yourself that it's the same for everybody? I mean, I guess it was sort of coming in and out in bands, wasn't it, the rain?
Yeah, it was. Bits of the stage were dry, bits of the stage hadn't got progressively worse. The trouble is, you find a bad place and you can't stop whatever you try and do. So you kind of treat everything with a bit of care, and it's easy to then drop quite a lot of time. And of course, we come to the end there, we couldn't see a thing. We were out of screen wash and couldn't see a thing. So Scott could see more than me, I think.
It's final overnight break. Of course, we always look ahead to Sunday. The position you're in, this wonderful position you're in with a 28-point lead in the championship. On a rally like Kenya, with that 2-minute lead, is it then a thought of, I don't really need these extra points, even though it's so early in the season, or not really?
Well, I think on a rally like Kenya, you have to weigh up the risk factor, I guess. We still need to drive well tomorrow. That goes without saying, and see what we can pick up.
I think that was PK. Yes, I want all the points I can get. A really good question from PK there. Tomorrow is going to be a big day, and it will be the question of whether then Elfyn Evans is going to go for the full maximum points out there in that Wolf Power stage at 2 p.m.
Yeah, look, like he just said, he's got to respect it. That's the key thing. He's got to respect the position that he is in now, Kiri. If he can take the points for the win, that's a good thing. He hasn't got to do the double. He hasn't got to take the full power stage points. I think inevitably he should score some, but this is Elfyn's rally to lose now, ultimately. And he's just got to keep himself out of trouble, get himself to the end of this rally, and for his championship campaign, that is a good thing. And everybody wants to win Safari Rally Kenya, and it could be that car that does it.
It could be indeed. There is no more exciting form of motorsport in the world than the WRC, and tomorrow is the final day of Safari Rally Kenya. Join us then. It's going to be a good one. Goodbye for now.